That makes absolutely no
That's
sense.
updated.
Makes absolutely no sense.
What? Yes, it does. You just got a whole upgrade. A whole upgrade. I done learned shit. I done been through shit and learned shit. You got a whole upgrade.
But you're not brand new out the box no more, though. Hold on. Boundaries are boundaries. I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with him setting his boundaries. Very clear on what he wants. Like he
on shit that is like basic that should be at the bottom of the list. Those are not bullshit that should be at the bottom of the list. I got like an ease, like that's good to hear, but at the same time, it's just like
it sounds like bullshit. I swear to God, every single person that said that shit to me, I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like in my head, I'm like, you talking some bullshit right now. Yeah. Like you gonna tell me that is life?
No, exactly my point. It's like you're always gonna have an excuse and you will never be ready. There's always something gonna happen, and I don't mean it literally, but I'm just calling it out because oftentimes we don't do that, and like people don't.
Okay, we're getting really deep here.
And challenge.
I don't even know if this is gonna come out. Okay,
no, this
at this point.
Yeah, the surface.
We're getting mad deep. Okay, so my.
Welcome back to the Never Famous Podcast, the best upcoming podcast on the planet. Please make sure to hit the like, subscribe, comment, share. We appreciate y'all for tuning in each and every week. And yeah, we back with another one. I am Audi. Producing back there, we got Ro, and today we got a special guest, Jody.
Hi, my name is Jody.
No, they didn't see you. They might have heard your voice before, early in the pod. Yeah.
No, when I went to the shop and we were sitting in the back, I didn't talk.
You did the pod with me.
Oh, okay.
Like a long ass time ago. So y'all might have heard a voice
in the
before.
beginning.
Yeah. But one shit I had it written down, and how you see how he was saying that he only get into like certain topics and shit like that. Like when he start talking, he get deep.
Yeah, he goes to a rabbit hole.
I ain't gonna lie,
Which I've been using that lately too. After my friend said it, every time like I go to get in a rabbit hole, I use that now. But that was never in my vocab, so that's funny.
All right. No, I was just gonna say he's smoking me. I ain't gonna lie. The two.
He's smarter than you?
No, he's smoking me. Probably smarter than me too. But he's smoking me in these conversations. I've been watching these shits back, and I'm like, yo, he is whooping my ass. Like I came in here today, like, yo, you got topics? Like, let's talk. Let's go.
Oh, cause he got them.
Yeah, he been whooping my ass. I'm down 0-2 right now. You know what I'm saying? We coming back though.
That's funny.
I'm saying I appreciate it. It's making me better. Like, cause then sometimes I watch it back and I'm like, damn, he fucking got me. Fuck. Like, all right, I gotta get better at it. But yeah, we gonna get into a couple of different topics. And now I got both of y'all here. So the first question that I didn't want to get into you guys, the first conversation, would you guys rather be a boss or an employee?
Ooh, a boss.
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, both of y'all.
It depends on the circumstances.
What does that mean?
Like, it depends on the field. Like, there's certain things in certain fields that I definitely don't want to be a boss in. And there's certain areas where I'm like, yeah, I want to be a boss in. It kind of depends. Is it something that I like and I enjoy doing and I'm passionate about and I'm going to push for that? Then I probably want to be a boss.
You said you wouldn't be?
I would probably want to, sort of.
Want to be.
But on the ideal situation, end goal should be, how do I get somebody else to run it for me so I can just do what I like to have fun with?
Yes, and that's hard.
No, just because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, both things have cons and pros on both sides. Because when you're an employee, you only have your employee responsibilities. So sometimes you don't have all the extra stuff, but also you got to deal with shit that a boss doesn't have to deal with. Sometimes it's something you don't have to accept.
I feel like I can't do it. Like I've been both, but because I'm so used to like running myself, like being my own boss, the times that I have had someone else tell me what to do, it really bothered me. Like it really bothered me. And it wasn't like no ignorant, like, don't fucking tell me what to do. It was just one of those, like, I'm working for somebody else. Like, I'm on their time, on what they say. And it's just like, yeah, I'm in and out if I, like, when I do my time. But I just don't like it. I just felt, I don't know, I just don't like it. I feel like me being my own boss, that's what I'd rather do.
I thought you were about to say something.
Oh, I can say, I feel like even if you own something, you're always working for somebody else. Like that's a mindset thing. Like it's either you're working for your clientele, you're working for your customers, you're working for your employees. I think the one thing that comes with being a boss that not a lot of people talk about is you have a whole different set of stressors that an employee doesn't have, which is for me, I don't only worry about my well-being, but now I got to worry about my employees' ability to feed their family. I'm like, oh shit, if money's not coming in, how am I going to pay this person? Like that aspect of it, at least for me, I take that seriously. And not a lot of people talk about that. And that brings a different layer of stressing.
But I'll take that stressor. Like I'd rather put that stressor on me and me. Like I'd rather me lead this ship and like figure it out that how we gonna eat than put this shit in somebody else's hand and be like, and have to.
So you're rather a boss than a worker?
Ideally, yeah. And the best, like I'm not in ideal scenario. Yeah, I'd rather.
What I was gonna say with yours, what you said, that is very true, and I'm one that's that type of person. If I'm a leader and a boss, but I feel like with you, what you're saying is definitely deep. Like depend what business it is. Me, I'm talking from obviously owning a bodega, a point of view. Where I agree as well, because I basically la bodega is not doing good. So yeah, I'm worried on. Even though I'm making sure he's getting paid, like I don't know if it's like I can't do it because La Bodega's not doing good. But and then in a sense, it's such a small business that my worries are not that extreme as of now.
I get it.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's what I mean. Like I feel like that's a part of the being an entrepreneur piece that people don't often talk about. And I feel like right now it's very popular to say, oh, go start your own business, be your own boss, do this, do that.
But for real though, it's so many like just not good leaders when they're being a boss because everybody just wants to own a business, but they don't know everything that like comes with it.
Well, I think you just said two different words.
What you mean?
You said being a leader and being a boss. That's two different things, completely different things. I think being a leader and a boss are two different things.
If you're a good boss, then you're a great leader. Like if you're
not always. Like I've had in my lifetime, I had bosses that were amazing, but they were terrible leaders.
You're right.
That's my boss.
So what I mean by that is like, I could probably have conversations with them. I'll have fun with them at work, but then we're slacking at work. We're not getting shit done. They're not inspiring me to do better.
I'm saying that because I'm a great boss. I'm a great
but they're cool. They're cool people to hang around with. So I think back then when I was like 21, 22, to me, they were great bosses because I'm like, oh, they don't give me a hard time. I do whatever I want. I show up and like we're joking around. And then the ones that push me to grow the most, I probably hated them at sometimes. But it's funny, those that push me to do the most, and I'm talking like probably my early 20s primarily, those are the ones that I probably stay in touch with the most right now. And like if I ever need advice, I'll reach out to them. And I don't even think I have the number of those that I used to think were a good boss. So
I think for me it's flipped. It's
I
like
definitely see that though.
where because there are bosses that can make a lot of money for a company, but then there's bad culture at a job. So that's why I feel like they're a bad leader because there's not good culture at the job, but they still they're still getting everybody to work and the company to make money.
yeah.
That's more what I've seen.
But talking about businesses that you mentioned, everybody is opening one. How do you feel about that? Like that whole trend of I won't say trend, but that's really like the majority of what everybody's trying to do now.
I don't know. I think that's just the illusion that's being sold. There's because in theory, if you really pay attention, if you want to make it in America, out of all places, one of the easiest ways is to make a business and grow it. And then you can make it as a person if you want to make it financially. Like that's one of the easiest paths. Like any other path where you can make a lot of money will require a significant amount of time investment. Like if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, you have to dedicate, 12 years of your life before you even start seeing a little bit of money.
For real. I know there's debt.
But then many people are seeing being an entrepreneur, creating something of your own as a quick way to do it. But they don't often talk about the amount of work and time and effort that it takes to do it, which oftentimes you're putting in just as many hours as the other person. But then you also have a lot of people that will start a business and they don't put in the time. They don't put in the amount of effort that it takes to learn. So you see a lot of businesses that don't succeed, but then they'll blame the system. Then they'll probably end up saying, oh, the system is rigged so the small guy can win, as opposed to saying, I didn't have the ability or I didn't have what it took to put in the time, the hours, and the ability to do it.
Real quick, because now I understand why he got more up on you with this whole topic stuff.
Why?
Cause like I like the way you think. Like it's real shit, and nobody is talking about this stuff. Like it's real shit. So that leads me to think and to ask you, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, or what are you doing?
I'm doing it now. Like I'm
This,
here. Like I'm here. Like this is
but
part
is
of what I'm
this
doing.
what you want to do?
Like I love creating.
I love that.
Like, and it's just as simple as that. Like I love creating.
Same.
But like I be telling him, I tell him like he's lazy. I tell Vinny he's lazy.
I get that a lot
and
from people.
and they look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm the type of person like right now it's 11
Like
p.m.
I just got so the girl that does my nails, she's doing like all my family nails, all my cousins and stuff. And again, I get that what you be coming at him for, I get that a lot from my family and friends. And whatever, like I get that a lot. But today my cousin also said, because the girl that did my nails, this was the first time I ever did my nails with her. So as soon as I walked in, she was just like, oh my God, you're so pretty. And then my cousin, her first time going, she's mentioning all of my cousins and aunts that go to her because she's just like, oh my God, y'all all really coming to me. So she like names each and every one of us. So when it was my cousin Lily first time going there, and she's talking about all of us, Lily was like, she told her that as soon as she seen me, she was like, oh my God, you're so pretty. And Lily was like, yeah, she need to do something with that fucking pretty face. Like, get back on YouTube, get back on your IG, like because I make candles. So they was like, get back on your candle shit.
Yeah, candles popping. I've been telling you, make them candles, and they popping for real. They smell great.
And a lot of people say that, and I don't believe them. And it's just that self-doubt that I keep doubting myself over and over and over again. And it's like, I'm not doing shit at all.
But that's crazy.
But my reasoning is because life, again, really be life, and I'm going through it, and I just I can't create as bad as I want to create. I can't create because I'm not like me, or I just need to take care of what's really going on life right now before I even touch anything to create. Like, I just don't feel comfortable creating if I'm not, like me, or I feel myself, or like, that urge to like wanting to do something.
I don't think I'm as lazy as he says I am. I'm not.
Wait, you say you're lazy?
Yeah, but not as lazy as he says that I am. He calls me lazy because I won't go to the gym in the morning. But I do a whole bunch of other shit. I just don't go to the gym in the morning. But
discipline.
Besides that, I'm gonna add it. Little by little, I'm gonna add it.
Discipline is key.
Fuck, I forgot. I was gonna say something else to you. Damn, I lost my thought.
I don't know. All I hear was excuses.
Oh, excuses. Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
He right at me.
Not at you, from her.
What?
Yeah, you were just saying you can't create because life is lifing.
Oh, that was what I was going to say.
What? So wait, you're saying that I'm saying excuses?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get deep in here.
And no, and I can share.
Life is life.
No, exactly my point. It's like you're always gonna have an excuse, and you will never be ready. There's always something gonna happen, and I don't mean it literally, but I'm just calling it out because oftentimes we don't do that, and like people don't.
Okay, we're getting really deep here,
and challenge.
I don't even know if this is gonna come out. Okay, at this point,
yeah, the surface.
We're getting mad deep. Okay, so my life experience and on why life is life, and I can't be myself and I can't create. My father just passed away.
Oh, sorry.
It's been a year and some change, and like I completely lost myself. Because I was so focused on him and everything, and just trying to keep my family together. So I'm now just going through my journey of like healing and trying to find myself. And I just turned 26. So like the years are just passing and I'm literally not living it. Like I'm just literally trying to survive every day.
Yeah.
So now that I'm kind of like getting myself together, now I'm kind of stepping out a little bit more. But when you completely lose yourself, and I just turned 26, and I can't even say like, I know me a little bit, but not where I can like truly defend myself. And you can't tell me who I am. Because before I knew who I was, you couldn't tell me who I am.
Okay.
Because I could defend myself, But now it's just like, nah. So I can't create if.
So I'm gonna ask you this.
He up 3-0. You took a loss with me too. We're on the same boat as me.
So I'm gonna ask you this.
That's it.
So look at it this way, and I don't mean getting on a camera and creating it that way, but I know you mentioned making candles. Do you enjoy the process of making candles?
Yes and no.
Okay. Because I would have said if you're making candles and you enjoyed it, could that be something that might have been therapeutic in some way, even if it's something that you don't share with the world?
But the thing is that like even that could be therapeutic. My head is like just so cloudy that that's not where my intention and like energy goes to. And I have tried. I have done it because my cousin, she's the only one that asks for candles. So so far I've been out, but I've only been making it for her.
But you also aren't promoting it either. So don't say
No.
it like she's the only one that asks. She's the only one that asks for candles because she's the only one that knows she could get candles.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is even when I make her candles and even when I'm doing anything else, I'm not enjoying it. Like every escape that I had before, I'm not.
Well,
It doesn't bring anything to me now.
because you're not gonna be the same person that you were before. Like that's
That's
some
what
shit
I'm
that I
saying.
noticed. Yeah, like after a major event in your life like that, it just changes everything about the way that you view life. Like everything changes.
Everything.
So you just got to figure out what
Everything.
those things are, and try different things.
So like I know I like it. I know I definitely still do love making it, but as in like finding that therapeutic feeling and stuff like that is like I did have it before, but not no more. And it's just like I'm trying to find that like what's my like let out or no, how they say it?
Your
I for-
outlet.
Yeah, my outlet. To find my outlet, then yeah. But so far nothing. Journaling, all that shit, like it definitely worked before. Nothing is working out. And that's why you need to go to therapy. Cause then that's why I realized like, okay, nothing's working. I need to go to therapy.
Yeah, that's why I went to therapy.
That's where I'm at now.
That's exactly what happened to me. I spent like a good like 14, 16 months after my mom passed away, like not going to therapy, just like going through life and shit, just experiences and just fucking shit up, making terrible fucking decisions for myself. And at some point, I'm like, yo, life is not going the way that I wanted to go. Like I have to make some kind of change in my life.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers have been recommending me therapy before that happened. So I'm like, fuck it, let me finally give it this try. And I started going. I went for like probably like almost a good year and shit. And it definitely helped. It changed my whole like it helped me with the process of those thoughts and when you're dealing with certain shit, like how to work through them.
Do you still go?
Nah, not recently. I haven't gone recently. No, I do. I should be going. I ain't gonna lie. But
When did you stop?
I don't know. I was probably going for like a year, so like a few months ago, something like that. I don't know. I don't know the exact time.
I got a few months. Almost about to make a year, I think.
Anybody that goes through like those traumatic experiences and shit like that, like those big life changing events, I recommend you should.
But I was
go
like
to
really
therapy.
trying to avoid this. Like speaking about that here, I was really.
I'm dead. No,
But he was
listen.
calling me lazy, and I'm like, what? Or like excuses or something. I'm like,
And
excuse me.
he still feel that way.
Excuses?
He still feel that way.
You
too.
still feel that way about me?
Yeah, like I can understand where you're coming from, but I think you shared, like you're very aware of what you think you should do. So now it's up to you to take the action and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I definitely have been, but it's definitely a damn process. This journey is crazy. I hope, but it's life. I was gonna say I hope I never get to like this point again, but you never fucking know. You really never know.
No, but I mean you are. The only way that you're not ever gonna experience this again is if you go before your mom do, and that's not the way that life is supposed to be. Like we're supposed to bury our parents. So that's some shit that I had to like the realization I had to come to that I like if it would have been worse if my parents were burying me as opposed to me burying them. Like that's the process of life. That's the way it's supposed to be. I gotta be okay with that. In my 20s that I want to do, I never in my life ever dreamed, thought about, imagined my life with my mom not meeting like my kids or my future wife or my future family, whatever. I never pictured that ever happening in my life.
Neither did
so
I.
it took me a long time to like really
I
go through
still
that.
can't. Well, I don't know if you already came to the like understanding of that. I still don't.
I would say
I'm
like,
still not okay.
Like
with
5 days a week. Like the other 2 days a week, I'd be like, I don't know. Like sometimes
And that's the crazy thing. Like, it's really a fucking roller coaster because once you think you already got an understanding or like figured out to whatever it may be that is bothering you of them not being here no more, then you go back to questioning yourself or like feeling that way again. And it's just like up and down, up and down. And it's crazy. It's so far I could say as of right now, it feels like it's never gonna. a never-ending like just grieving process.
So
Well, at least I said that that's how I feel right now.
I think that it's always gonna be like that. That's never gonna change. I think there'll be a time where it's like when people told me that, like, yo, it'll be a time where it's like lighter on you to carry. It doesn't feel like this like 1,000-pound weight on you type shit. It just gets kind of lighter a little bit over time, but it's always like that weight. Like it never goes away. At least so far, I'm 2-3 years into this process, and I don't think it's ever gonna go away. But it's just like easier to carry. It's not like
That's crazy
that's
because
hard.
from that, I got like an ease. Like that's good to hear, but at the same time, it's just like Yeah.
It sounds like bullshit. I swear to God, every single person that said that shit to me, I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like in my head, I'm like, you talking some bullshit right now.
Yeah.
Like you gonna tell me that, like, I'm never gonna see my mans again, and I'm gonna be okay with this shit? No, like, that's thing. But and it's not that I'm okay with it, but it's just a little lighter to carry. Like like there was a point where I couldn't even like think about the situation without crying.
Right.
Now it's like I'm sitting here having a 20-minute conversation with you about it. Like
You're right.
so
I mean, I haven't gone too deep because I definitely will cry, but
no, but I'm saying it takes time.
you're right. You're right. Still, even having the conversation right now, something that I was trying to avoid, and we're having it right now. You're right.
It gets easier.
I didn't expect this.
And I definitely try to, like, some shit I recommend where I apart from the therapy where I fucked up at, and not by not going to therapy, the other thing that I also fucked up at was I spent a lot of time alone. I didn't lean on like the people that were I know were there for me, that really loved me, that showed me that
That's
were
what got me
consistently
through.
there for me. And that's where
That's what got me through.
Man.
If I didn't have that, y'all would have probably never seen me in years. Cause that's what really got me through. My family and close friends.
So
That's
just
what
recommending
shit's
that to the
about.
people that
Oh,
out there
yeah.
that might be that have gone through it, one day will go through it. That go to therapy and lean on those people that love you.
Yeah,
that are there
yeah,
for
your
you,
family and your
support you.
close ones that really love you. Definitely, you need to have like good people in your life to take care of you in those moments. It's scary.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we can switch.
We need a lighter note.
Yeah, let's switch the mood up a little bit. You got can we start with that?
What's that? What you said about little John? Not little John, but no.
I don't know what the
What was
fuck
his
she's
name?
talking about.
Oh, Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Oh yeah, you want to start there? All right,
It was
let's go.
something.
I want to hear some more about this Jonah Hill topic because the shit been trending. Everybody's talking about this.
I haven't heard about it, so it's
Go.
gonna be my
So-
first time.
So I'll preface it real quick and then we can just read the messages. So, like 2 days ago, his ex started posting a bunch of screenshots of messages, and every single day she's posting more and more about their relationship from 2 years ago. And these are the messages.
If you need surfing with men, boundarously inappropriate friendships with men. Hey, yo, boundaries, inappropriate friendships with men. You got to detail that a little bit more. To model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of unhappiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. See the misuse of the term boundaries.
So that piece there is what she posted on the story.
Yeah.
Like, see the misuse of the term boundaries.
Let me just curiosity kill the cat.
I fucking agree. That's all I gotta say.
You agree with who?
With her misusing it. The definition of boundaries, or the terms of boundaries,
Expand.
as you said. Oh, okay. Because as Indika, to be a model and to post pictures of bathing suits and sexual pictures or whatever the case may be, that could be a boundary, but that's not like big and most important boundaries in a relationship, to keep a relationship, to have a partner and be in a relationship. Boundaries are personal stuff. You as a person growing together, not some what the fuck is going on by me working or something or creating or posting a picture on IG or whatever the case may fucking be. Like that could be on the list, but that should be at the bottom of the list.
If we're going off of the definition of the word boundaries, a line that marks the limits of an area, a dividing line, I feel like he's cool. Like, he's cool in setting his boundaries. Are his boundaries necessarily the right ones? That changes per person. If that's what he feels like is right for him, then that's what he feels like is right for him. But boundaries are boundaries. I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with him setting his boundaries.
I just think he needs to like rethink on what he wants in a relationship.
But he's very clear on what he wants. Like he
on shit that is like basic that should be at the bottom of the list. Those are not building. Y'all not building as a partner. Y'all not building as a relationship. That's bullshit that should be at the bottom of the list.
But that's just one screenshot that she posted, because he could have said multiple things. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with you being very clear on the things that you don't want in a relationship.
There's nothing wrong with that. No, that's not what I'm saying.
So, but she's posting it in a way to like be like, oh, like he's bugging the fuck out for
no,
setting these boundaries.
She's saying see the misuse of the term boundary. I think that's the main point. Like see the misuse.
But it's not a misuse. It's a clear. He's used it very correctly actually. Like these are the things that I don't want to happen. So and then afterwards he very politely says like, yo, if that's not okay with you, then cool, we could just be friends. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of unhappiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnerships. I feel like that's a very mature and respectful way to get your point across. If it's like using the proper.
I think we're just understanding boundaries differently.
Yeah, that's what I think they were doing too.
Yeah.
But I feel like
you want to chime in?
Oh, you don't want me to chime in?
Because we going at it.
Well, I'm gonna add more context. So take this into account. They broke up about 2 years ago. This just came out 2 to 3 days ago. He is.
So they've probably been like on and off.
No.
No. Oh.
He is now engaged to someone else, and just had a kid by someone else within the last few weeks. Now she's posting this out.
Wait, what?
All right. Well, you see, I just wanted to set the record clear that I didn't know none of this. I'm really learning about the story all like right now.
Me too.
So I feel like it's just adding more to what I'm saying, because like now you're like
wait, what's going on?
Person. Now
that's my man's too. I love him.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's
love
wrong.
him.
I feel like that's a scorned person.
No, because that's just threw up the whole point. Because like, why is she posting it now?
Because she's scorned. Like, she hating. My man,
like he done had a kid, he married, everything. Like
he didn't call her no disrespectful words. He didn't put no hands on her.
Okay, go back to that screenshot, because now, what's the point of plain and simple? If you need suffering with men, appropriate friendship with men to my.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I am not the right partner for you if these things bring you a place of happiness and authority.
I don't know if I should talk through.
First of all, when did they talk? Like when does it say when they were 2021?
2021.
Oh, she weird.
She scrolls.
She weird. She weird. This is probably at the time that they were probably trying to work things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to work things out. So obviously I don't know how long were they together?
I don't know that much.
However long they were together, and maybe they're having problems in their relationship, ended it, and they were trying to get back together. Those are probably things that he had problems with her, and just made a list of it, of like, well, if we are going to work things out and we're probably going to get back together, these are my boundaries. And if that was the case, if that's what they mean, then that's reasonable, because y'all trying to work things out. So she needs to set her boundaries, and he needs to set his boundaries in order for it to work out.
Because the worst shit is when a woman, when you tell her like, listen, I can't tell you to stop hanging out.
She posted everything. She posted all that too?
Yes.
I can't tell you to stop hanging out with somebody,
what is the point?
But that shit makes me uncomfortable. Like, I would rather you not hang out with this person for whatever the reason is, and then they still do it, and it's like, and then some shit happens. It's like, boom, like I told you. This is why you got this is why he did the right shit with setting a very clear boundary. So it's like once now you start breaking that shit, like fuck that, because he said it that he's doing it for a reason. He done probably been through certain experiences or certain situations with shorty that's like that has made him say that.
So what I'm confused now. So what is the point of the message and that first message? What are we talking about, the boundaries? And the point of the story?
We just talking about the boundaries and stuff like that. But I feel
or if he was right or wrong for saying what he said for the boundaries that he's requiring.
Yeah, I feel like that's all in the same conversation. Like I feel like
okay, well I do agree with him if that's the case, if they were trying to get back together, and those were his boundaries to make it work.
But even if those were his initial boundaries at first, Like, let's say that, like,
No.
when he
Then I
first-
stand with what I said in the beginning.
So,
But you never said what you thought with everything. I'm not even reading everything else, but this is crazy that she posted everything. Like, what is the point now?
I don't know. In my mind, it seems like, why would you do this 2 years after? I think
Yeah.
you might have been in what you consider a toxic relationship of some sort, which I get.
Probably.
And you had someone that has been very publicly about saying that he deals with like trust issues, and he did an entire documentary about therapy and what it took for him. So I don't know. I think it's something about either her wanting validation right now or attention from the internet, because I know this split the internet in half. Like, you have a bunch of people taking her side, a lot of people taking his side.
Private. Nothing like this ever, like, something crazy like this has never came out. Like, he's super private.
that's what I'm saying. And if it's recently announced that, like, he got married and had a kid and all these other things with a new person.
He's not married yet, but yeah, they're engaged.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what it is. Like, I
Yeah,
haven't seen
she's
enough scorn for him
seeking
and,
just attention, whoever that is.
Because I'm like, what are these messages going to bring?
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing. Like, that's why I'm confused. Like, why did you put them out?
She
For
tried-
what?
she tried to
He's
get-
clearly not getting back with you. Like, he done said it so many ways. Clearly and like in a
Yeah,
nice
like
way.
this is going to garner attention. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. This is going to get attention from the internet. And it's going to get a lot of people that are going to say, no, you were right. He's super controlling, blah, 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 whatever the case might be. But I think he was very clear in saying, hey, like, if these are too crazy of a boundaries, I also get it. And we're just not meant for each other. And I think that's fine to say it. Honestly, I may not agree with some of the things he might have put as boundaries himself. But if he's conscious enough to say, hey, some of these I understand may be too much. And if it's too much for you, that's okay.
Yeah.
But he's not forcing her. I don't think he's controlling her. And I know
Agree.
based on, if you go like on Twitter and stuff, people are saying that he is being manipulative or controlling through that one message when it first came out.
I think it's just a bad attempt at, like, trying to get him out of here. Like, trying to see if she could get him canceled.
Shawty
like,
weird.
Bring him some negative attention. Try to fuck up a role for him or some shit. Because anytime one of these big artists, like Johnny Depp lost a whole bunch of shit at first when the whole shit where Amber Heard first came out. He lost a whole bunch of movie roles and shit like that until the whole trial finished, and then it came out that he never really did anything to her. That it was her fucking with him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel maybe she tried to do something similar.
Yeah,
And-
she's just weird. She's just weird.
And this is the second
Weird.
time she's put him out, by the way. She tried putting him out a year ago. Didn't
Can
really
I see
gain her
picture?
attention.
Do you have it?
And
Is her,
then
is her
Nobody
picture
was focused.
somewhere? Because she is a
What's her name?
weirdo.
Sarah something. I'm trying to see if I find it in here somewhere.
It should be because it's all his pictures. It may seem as if wait. That's her.
This is her last one of the last things she posted.
It may seem as if I am sharing a lot, but you all have no idea how much more there is, which I am choosing not to share out of consideration for him and his family. You done share everything else, might as well. But you still not gonna get nowhere. Ew, she looks miserable. I'm being so mean, but it's like, why do this? You're just being a mean person. And you have no, that's just mean. Let the man be. He's a private man. The fuck? Oh,
I should look
can
a
we
little
curse
tough.
here?
Yeah, we could curse here. This not.
Just one curse word. One curse word.
Yeah, it's good. They ain't gonna mess up.
Ew, oh, I was gonna say, ew, don't tell me that's it.
Yes.
My man's what? Jonah. No.
It's not about looks.
It's not about personality either. She's clearly not a good, like,
Yo.
no, what was going on there? I need my lip gloss. What was going on there? What?
It's just a
Wait,
template.
okay, so how did me asking, my question was gonna be, what do y'all think when girls are gonna say like, or be saying like, oh, I'm outside, we're gonna be outside, da, da, da. And you said that was gonna lead into this. How so?
Well, I guess you could talk into that because like that first message about boundaries, that first message was like friendships with men, putting pictures of yourself out there in bathing suits.
Oh, that's another question.
But you see, these things, like now the surfing with men and all those things, after you pulled up her IG, she has a lot of like surfing. She must have been like a surfer or
Yeah.
something like that. Like, because a lot of the things that he's saying, or like posting pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, you see like now that's kind of
Okay.
bugging because if she's a surfer and all that shit, like that's a part of the things that she do. I can't marry a model and be upset that she does model shit. That doesn't make sense.
No, I get it. I think I don't disagree. I think one, I do think there's a lot of context missing that she's choosing not to share.
Yeah.
But that's what I said. I may not agree with everything he's putting as boundaries because I'm guessing you met her, she being a surfer. Yeah. But in theory, and now this is me playing devil's advocate, not necessarily that I agree or don't agree with it. We don't know if he's talking more about sexual pictures because he does specify sexual pictures. We don't know what the relationship is with other men that do surfing. Is she the type of person that maybe doesn't have a good gauge of how to not be flirty or something along those lines? Or is it people that maybe she's been with in the past and she's still keeping in touch, like a very close relationship with? We don't know any of that. And a lot of that I know comes from that surfing community because that's what she's involved in. So I think it puts it out, like it leaves it up to interpretation of he's bugging, but could these have come from somewhere? Could these, some stuff happened that made him say, you know what, I don't think I'm cool with this because this is going beyond a certain line that I'm not willing to go past.
And also what you said, like we don't know how toxic that shit was. That it was probably a toxic ass relationship.
I don't know. I have in my mind, I'm like the fact that you're posting this 2 years after the fact kind of tells me that it might have been, or that you're still scorned by it in some way, and you're like, seems like he's happy now. Let me post this shit out because it's bothering me the fact that he may be happy.
That's why,
in this
that's
point
why I
in
said
time.
she looked like she miserable.
I did have a question, so just like.
Oh, I did have a question though, but after
Go ahead.
first.
I got mine written down, so I won't forget.
Okay, so specifically on when he said male friends about surfing or something like that. So as you said, these were probably friends that before him, they were already friends and that's just what they do, like surf, and they're friends and they hang out all the time. How do y'all feel, like if you were in a relationship with a girl and she has a lot of male friends and they've been there for years, so it's not something that you should even think to worry about? Would that bother you, or is that something that you'll be okay with and understand?
You want to go? I'll go. Me personally, I like to meet him because it depends how. Like you said, a lot. So I don't know how many is a lot to you, but I done dated women that had male friends and their friends ended up would like them the whole time or ended up liking them. Okay. Like I've been cool with women that I ended up liking too. So it's just like rather not. I'm honest. Like I'm being honest. Like it's just
okay. Well, no. Yeah. Okay.
Now, I'll probably agree with that. I feel like, because I think men and women think very, very differently. And I know from a woman's perspective, women can be very comfortable placing a man in the friend zone, but the man is lurking in the friend zone. Right. Like, I'm just waiting for an end.
I do understand
like,
that.
as soon as the end comes in. And how would you say it? I'm trying to say, because I'm like, I haven't dated in, I don't even know, well over a decade. So I've been married for 12, 13 years now. So it's a little different for me. But even if I was thinking with my wife, because even me, like I don't hold many close friendships with women, period. Like I have a lot of acquaintances. I have a lot of conversations. I know many, especially in the industry that I work in. Like I work in the fashion industry. But that puts me in a place where I get to see what women hear. I get to see what women do with men. And I get to see what comes through an Instagram of a woman that can be attractive. So I can see why a man will be concerned, and especially if you get to be a fly on the wall. Like I get to sit down in a studio while like a model's getting her hair or makeup done, so you get to hear what her and the makeup artist are talking about. And some of the stuff you hear, you're like, oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't trust no male friend whatsoever. And what women will hide also is kind of super interesting. Like what they're willing to say that they're not doing anything bad. It was like, oh, it was just a trip. It was just a girl's trip. It was like 2 days. They flew me to China, or like quickly went to Africa. And what happened in that trip? Why was it for free? Who invited you? Who paid for it?
Oh, no.
Do you get what I mean? But that's the type of stuff that you get to see often. And if you're not around those circles and if you don't see it, I can see how most men will be like, they can only imagine. But I'm not imagining. I'm like, I've seen it. I hear it.
Even on a smaller, more regular scale, you see that shit. Like sometimes when women hide shit, it's like even if they're not getting flown out and they're not doing all that shit, when they hide shit, it be for a reason. Like when they just don't tell you the full everything is for a reason. Like they got some shit up their sleeve or whatever the fuck. Like,
But I think that's any human. Like, I feel like if a human is not sharing something, it's because they're protecting themselves in any way. And that can be a man or a woman in that aspect. So I wouldn't say it's just a girl thing. I think that's just a human nature thing to kind of protect yourself. If you think something can.
no, what I'm saying is like they're not gonna tell their boyfriend every single percentage of that friendship that they have with the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they'll hold certain shit back. Like you might have a man and then you might introduce me as like, oh, he's just my friend, but I might have kicked it to you before. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that's different. I'm speaking more on like, again, people that you've grown up with, like you grew up since kids with. So even though they're not family, you consider them as family.
They still fall in love with you. But
Okay, espérate. But it probably was at some point growing up, but even making that clear, like that's not what it is. You get past that. That's not what it is. But also just like so close into family
that's the part that I'm
they
asking.
call my grandma, and they call mommy, and like tia.
But who
tia.
said that's not what it is? The girl or the guy? When you said, we just made it clear that that's not what it is. Like you made it clear to the person. Were you the girl that made it clear to the guy? Or the guy was the one that said, oh, I don't see you in that way?
The girl. But a mutual thing.
No. We go. He agreed to that shit because you said that shit. But no.
I didn't say I agree with it.
No, not
What are you
you.
talking
When
about?
I say, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know if you noticed in the conversation, like he asked you about the person that might have been that close friend that you grew up with, and then you say, "Yeah, at one point it might have been, but I made it clear that it wasn't, that it would never be." You just acknowledged that you, the girl, said we're only friends. You're the one putting it on the friend zone. Honestly, if at any point there was any intention from the guy, I doubt that in his mind he's like, "I'm friend zone forever." He's like, "Cool, I'll be friends for now." But like, if there's ever an opportunity, I guarantee you, more than likely, they'll probably take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people say that, but
And do that. I don't think it's a say thing.
No, because sometimes people that do say it and mean it, whether it's female or male, como que like nobody. I don't know. I feel like people move different, and I think that's my issue sometimes. I feel like a lot of people don't move or think the way that I think. So if I ever was to say some shit, it's final. That's it. So even if that person does make a move or is like whatever signs of I'm not trying to be in this friend zone case, it's like if...
I understand that, and I'm not disregarding that you truly believe that. Like, I 100% believe that you believe that. But let's say if you ever have a partner or a boyfriend, I don't know if you do have one now, how is he so secure about it? Because he doesn't know what goes through your mind. He can only take your word for it at this point in time.
Yeah, and I think that's always the case too. But then that's another thing where it's just like probably the family that I grew up in, and especially like the way that my aunts, my mom's sisters had a relationship with my dad. Like it was close where if it was an outsider, they would think the same way that you guys are thinking. But maybe because I grew up seeing that, and especially with my parents as well, like shit is just literally innocence and like just love, just a great relationship where my partner needs to be so secured that those thoughts are not even running through his head. Like he doesn't even have to question it because that's not a thing. These are just, again, my people, my family that has been there from day one, and they're there. It doesn't have to be any of those like just being curious or interested.
Yeah, I think at that point you just got to make him feel secure and know that. And then once he knows that and he feels...
And I feel like that's why a lot of relationship, and especially guys, have that issue. And even if it was a secure relationship, it could be vice versa. You could have female friends, and that's not a problem to the girl that you're with. That's not an issue because y'all both are secured as fuck, not only in your relationship, but within yourself. That's not even a thought or a question because you just know your partner don't move like that. And you trust your partner enough where that's not a question. There shouldn't even be a thought in my head,
Yeah, I just don't see that a lot.
But it is a thought in your head.
Huh?
But it is a thought in your head. That's the reason we're having that conversation right now, because you're
But
seeking
I
some
just said
form
it's
of
not even something
validation.
to question to even become a thought.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is a thought. And what I mean is the fact that we're having this conversation means, oh, I'm seeking validation because I must not be the only person thinking it in some way. And what I mean by that is,
I never said me.
I don't know, but I'm using it because you brought up the topic. But the fact that we're
Because
having
I
this,
just see it a lot as
'cause I
well.
think-
And yes, I have gone through it, but I have definitely seen it a lot. And it's
yeah,
just
and I think it automatically goes and to the phrasing, and I don't know, it goes into security or insecurity. Oh, they're just insecure. I think that's just a cop out. That's a simple way of deflating the blame of saying, you know what, there can be reasoning why. Because I know if the shoe was on the other foot, it would be very, very tough to, like, if you had a boyfriend that has a very
you're
close
saying-
friend.
Let's say if my partner was insecure, you're saying that me saying that, oh, it's just a him insecurity thing, or him saying that it's a security
No,
thing?
no. What I'm saying, like, if the foot was in the other foot, like, say you had a partner that has a very close friend that's a girl that supposedly he grew up with, and let's say she's kind of attractive. You're saying there will be nothing within you that will feel some type of way about that.
It depends the history. What's the history like? How?
Same history you described.
No question about it.
Like, there at one point in time she was interested, but you say no, it's never gonna go past that.
I never said that.
We did said that.
I said
Yeah.
that could happen, but I never said that was the case.
But you don't know. You did say that. You was like, oh, but I was the one that stopped it. Like you were like, oh, that.
I said if I, I thought I said if I were in that position and it was brought up, like if that person had interest in me, I would stop it because I'm not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that was the case,
So if it was your man to stop it, your man, it's the
Okay,
same,
if
the
he
same
would've
thing you just
stopped
said,
it.
but your man.
Okay, will that change the dynamic of that relationship moving forward?
no, it wouldn't change it. If I was in that situation, I'll just ask more questions
So you're-
just to see how secure, like what's their relationship.
No, so I mean, like, let's put you back in the chair, right? And the person that you grew up with, that's like a cousin to you, says that they do have some form of interest in you. If they bring that up, would then that change the relationship between the two of you moving forward?
No.
It wouldn't. So you will be able to look past it and know
100%.
that he told you, oh, I feel.
I have. These are people that are not in my life anymore. Because of that, because even though we agreed that, there was interest, we probably tried for like a week to see if like it'll go somewhere or a couple days and it didn't. I will always said, this relationship shouldn't, like, I'm not going to change. Like, I'm not going to treat you differently. None of that. So it shouldn't change. We've come to the agreement because that's how it be. And then they just like totally switch up. They just stop talking
that
to me.
exactly proved the point.
But I'm
That
saying
for the-
I wouldn't change though. I
But-
wouldn't treat you differently because
No, but that's what I'm
talked about
saying. It's like
something and
that
agreed,
proves the
and it
point that
didn't
the
work.
guy that's is
he has
always
that, he'll
lurking,
still-
waiting
okay,
for that
okay.
opportunity.
That does, yes.
And as soon as he was like, yo, this opportunity is not there, they're no longer in your
That's
life.
true. But I don't keep them in my life. If it's that case, you're not in my life.
But now,
Or in my circle,
but I
like-
think that is a great example to kind of put yourself in your supposed to be boyfriend's shoes of saying, oh, I can see why he will have concern of having a close friend, male friendship around.
Yeah. Okay, so we agreed that that's cut off. Like those people are not in the circle, if that's the case. Because
If
the
it-
guys
if- I
keep
get so.
lurking. So let's just say if it is the case and the partner is cool with it, like would you be cool with it? Because I would be cool with it if they got past it. If they agreed on something and just got past it. No?
Nah, I don't necessarily want you around somebody that you like, that want to be with you and all this extra shit. Like, because then there's at any point you could just go ahead and do what you want. Like, I mean, you could do
Well,
that.
I guess
you could
everybody's
do that
different.
regardless, but
I guess it's hard to believe everybody's different. It's probably one of those things.
how much time we are? I gotta pee. I'm drinking way too much
About
water.
an hour.
Trying to get at the root cause. Why are men in such crisis? I mean, the stats are like only 40% go to college. So they're losing out to women there in a big way. And women with degrees don't marry men who don't have degrees. So. Great, you'll be lonely forever, aren't you? Why are you cheering?
I didn't tell my wife.
They don't.
Because men are barely getting degrees, and then women are getting more degrees than men, and then they aren't like on average marrying a man who doesn't have one. Damn, that sucks. I didn't took myself out of a nice category of women too. Some nice educated women. God damn. I need to go to school.
But that makes sense, though. Like, that's not shocking.
If for a regular motherfucker, but if you get in a bag, you could get a shorty with a degree. But like for like the average person,
Well, no, but I mean, like, that's not a shocking fact to me because I think it's normal in all of history for. Normally, women will look for somebody who probably makes or create more than they do in some way from a societal perspective.
and
Like,
the average person with a college diploma, the average man with a college diploma, probably you think makes more than the average man that doesn't have one.
yeah, probably. Not necessarily, but I think on average, yeah. But like they mentioned, I don't think men are going to college as much. But I mean, it's not shocking that women typically, like if I go to college and I have a degree, I would probably want to date someone that also has a degree, like someone on their level. If we're dictating levels by degrees or whatever the case might be.
Because the different kind of conversations and shit you could have, mentally, you have to play that.
They don't marry as much, which I think is great, but other people think that's a terrible thing. Okay, people do like a mate, whatever. That's whatever your boat floats by. But there is something going on. I mean, mass shootings is a uniquely male crime. It's always because some dude in Buffalo, had somebody swipe left on him too much. I feel like that's what's going on here. Is a lot of sort of maleness coming to the fore and announcing itself in violence and racism and hatred because they're lonely and lost and feel that they are not useful in society.
The most sense.
How did we get there?
What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question.
Honestly, I agree, but I was gonna let him keep talking because I wanted to hear like if he got into the reasoning for that because that's what I'm genuinely interested in.
Okay.
Unstable nations in the world have one thing in common, and that is they have too many lonely, broke, and alone men. It's the most dangerous person in the world. Salman Rushdie wasn't attacked because of the fatwa. He was attacked because a guy was living in his mother's basement. We have a crisis among young men, and it starts at a young age. Young men are twice as likely on a behavior-adjusted basis to be suspended. 7 in 10 high school valedictorians are women. For every two female graduates from college in the next 5 years, you only have one. The scariest stat, walking down the avenue that is America, only 1 in 3 men under the age of 30 have had sex in the last year. And you hear sex and your brain fires, but the bottom line is, it's a key.
Can you run that step back one more time?
Walking down the avenue that is America, only 1 in 3 men under the age of 30 have had sex in the last year. And you hear sex and your brain fires, but the bottom line is...
Under the age of 30.
30. It's a tough stat.
But it's a true stat. Do you think that? Well, you have thought that.
Would I have thought that? Mm-hmm. You know what? Honestly, no. Just because I feel like having sex isn't the hardest thing in the world. Apart from I think that you can. I think you can find somebody to want to have sex with you, or at least pay them. One of the two things. So I don't. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought that before.
I think that's a crazy stat. I ain't know that. That shocked me. But yeah, people pay for sex, so.
But they're not making money. Remember that means
not making money.
They're just expressing that right now most men are broke in many ways, right?
Yeah.
So in theory, you have to, and if you really, really think about it from a societal standpoint, even you're very likely spending money in order to get some.
Yeah.
Whether it is, if you go on a date, you go on a club and so on. And if you're not generating money, right, that's one. Then number two,
then it makes sense.
then you need to be some type of charming at a minimum to be able to garner a girl's attention in some way or have the ability.
You can't be broke and smooth and get it.
Correct. But now you need charm. So you need to be able to have like that ability. So I think it puts you in a perspective like when you're a man. And I think that's a difference. And like if I stop to think from a perspective of a woman and a man, and I would love to get your thoughts on this is when it comes to dating, from a woman perspective and a man perspective is very different because the woman is expecting someone to come to her. So they're usually saying yes or no. So like you're accepting or declining an invitation of some sort. But then the man has to be the one doing the chasing,
Inviting.
and doing the inviting, usually it's expected for them to be the one that spend the money and so on. So it kind of puts men in an awkward category, especially when I think of younger men. Even some of the discussion we were having earlier, where we have people that are uncomfortable talking to women, and I mean, like, just having a regular conversation, like they get awkward and so on. And I don't know, I feel like that's interesting. Like, it's an interesting thing happening in society right now.
But I've heard of like many male getting upset or not agreeing with females when they do take initiative. They have an issue with it.
I don't know.
And I mean, it depends. And like what?
So about saying when the guys usually initiate and they're the ones that have to make the moves and stuff. Sometimes when the girls do it, people have problem with it when a girl takes initiative.
I like that shit.
They always say like, oh, that's a guy thing. You're supposed to, you leave it to us to do it. We got to do it and whatnot.
No, but if you want me, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I might fuck with you too. I ain't know you wanted me. Now I know you want me, so now I might want you too.
That's true.
Well, that's a little different. I think in reality, I think most men are invisible to women, and women don't realize that.
What you mean?
Most men are invisible to you.
Like what? What you mean?
Like it's just another man.
You probably don't even realize it. Like, imagine, when was the last time you might have gone, I don't know, to McDonald's or something?
That I've gone out to
Yeah.
McDonald's?
Yeah, just randomly.
Like 2 months ago?
Doesn't matter. Let's say that's 2 months ago. The person who might have rang you out, let's say it was a man, do you remember that person in any way? By default, probably by the fact that they were working at McDonald's, you probably discarded the
Unless I
possibility.
had a conversation with them.
Yeah, but what I mean is by default, just because they were at McDonald's, right? You probably discarded the possibility of that being a romantic partner, period.
Oh, yeah.
Get what I mean? So I think this is what they're hitting at, is the fact that most men right now, they're not getting college degrees. So for many women, especially if they're educated, most men are invisible. Like, you don't even think twice about it.
We don't.
And I think that's a danger for society. I think that
Why?
because what is going to happen?
If you're not doing something with yourself, working on yourself, got something, why?
Well,
why need
we
to
never
maintain
said
that?
they weren't doing something with themselves.
You just said if they're not, they're visible to us. And I said yes.
Well, that person was doing something. They were working at McDonald's.
Who said that?
And the scenario
The scenario I gave you, and you acknowledge the fact that by
No,
default,
no, they weren't doing something to like even catch my attention where like I'm intrigued to even notice them.
you see, I think that's the difference between men and women.
Why?
Because
I mean,
I'm-
y'all do just look at anything.
Yeah, in a sense, kind of, yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, just like
As long as she's looking good, y'all.
Yeah, I've seen an attractive ass woman that's worked at a place that I might not necessarily want to work at, but I'm like, yo, she fine as shit. I would still bag her. I don't give a fuck about where she work at, as much as y'all do, at least.
It's pointless.
What do you mean it's pointless?
Like if you're not gonna do nothing, I mean,
It's-
no, because again, y'all just if it's looks, if she's bad, she's beautiful. Yeah, no, if you're not bringing
I
them
don't
to
know.
catch my interest.
Because the things that we look for are different. Like I feel like when you like a guy that works at McDonald's isn't gonna catch your eye as much because he's not gonna be able to like
It's just-
provide some of those things that those regular dates, those regular things that
I mean, we didn't say if he's good looking. If he's good looking, working at McDonald's, he got my attention.
Yeah, but after
But
except
if
he
he's
might
regular,
be able to
he-
bag you, but after a certain amount of time, you ain't gonna be fucking with him because he can't afford to keep up with you.
No, I never said that.
That's how I
I could date a
That's how I feel.
Not at this stage. I'm 26, not no more. But a few years back, I could date a McDonald's boy as long as he's a good guy.
Yeah, but like you
But
could date him
how
for a
would you
year
have
or two.
found out he was a good guy?
Again, if his looks do catch my attention, or again, he doesn't even have to look good. As long as when he rung me up at the window and we talked, whether it was a joke or something funny that he by the conversation and us interacting, he got my attention. He got my attention. From there, we exchanged whatever we got exchanged, and that's it. Now though, McDonald's, whether even that happens, I'm not doing it. I'm not dating no McDonald's boy right now. No.
Fires, but the bottom line is it's a key step to the elemental foundation of any society, and that is relationships. Young men aren't attaching to work, they aren't attaching to women, they aren't attaching to schools. We are producing too many of the most dangerous person in society, and we are losing out on a key. We're not going to have kids We're not going to have a productive society. We're going to have more violence. And also, we're going to have a society that does not value young men. And they do not. Young men are different. They develop later. And by the way, if you're a young man, this work from home thing is a disaster. They need young men.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that's one of the worst that we could do as men is not be around people, especially around women too. Like when we're younger, so we get comfortable around women, and you learn how to charm a woman. You learn what works, what doesn't, what makes them feel comfortable, what doesn't. Because I've said shit to women, like learn shit even now, like as a grown man, still like learning and shit. That I'm like, damn, I took myself out some pussy. Like I fucked myself up on that one. So I know not to move that same way again. Like yo, I gotta do better and shit. Because you could talk your way into pussy, like you say, he could charm you into that shit, but he can also talk his way out of that shit too. So. I think that's one of the shit that we got to be outside. Go ahead, you can play that.
Young men need guardrails. They need to know how to read a room. They need to put on a clean shirt. They know not to get high or drink too much during the week, and then get into the office the next day. We have a crisis among young men. It is one of the most, in my view, one of the most dangerous things in our society.
And where do you put the phone?
We got bigger things to worry about
in this equation, because I put it high up. Because
what do we have to worry about?
What do you say? Where do you put what?
In my view, one of the most dangerous things in our society.
And where do you put the phone? In this equation? Because I put it high up. Because thank you.
No, she said that we have bigger things to worry about.
just overall in the world. It was just nothing specific, just overall.
Yeah, such as.
I can think of one to mind, but again, this more talking about like sexual guys.
No, I think these are
Getting
just
some?
talking. I think this is
Because
just no, not at all. This is
Or
just
is he
talking
talking about society, like work, like this is affecting
yeah, he's like talking.
work-wise?
I feel like this, such a thing, like men being in this type of crisis as a whole affects society as a whole.
Okay.
Because I think indirectly they kind of hit it earlier. It's kind of like this starts to create men who have resentment. They don't have zero social skills, so they start to become outsiders. And those are usually the people that potentially lead to do crazy things in many ways. So it kind of depends on where you are. Like that can lead you to make very, very, very harsh and rash decisions. Anywhere from maybe taking their lives or whatever the case may be.
To getting pussy to job.
But it's all like just different branches of the same tree.
Okay, so why are men on crisis? So they're just naming like crisis sexually,
just as a whole. Like as a whole, men are in crisis.
Yeah, so all the different factors of things that are fucking with the future.
Interesting.
Which I think this is a lot more important than what you just tried to give her credit for.
So y'all need to get a nut off to like function at work and shit, and know how to really social with females and everything.
There were other things than just having sex though.
I mean, but I've heard that from guys though.
What?
To like function and have a clear head, y'all be having to need those things.
I don't think that we all are like that. I think that some of us got like some extra tension and we don't know how to fucking like how to express that shit. But I don't know. I think a lot of dudes are just fucking dramatic. Like, bro, you can't go a month without some pussy, 6 months without some, whatever the fuck. Like, I don't really think that it's that long of amount of a time.
But you think it's true about society? It's affecting society, male?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a society we're becoming softer because of it. Like right now,
I agree with that.
We are becoming a softer society, and that's because we don't have many strong men, and the people who are being perceived as being strong men right now are not necessarily people that you would want your kids to look up to or to be a role model for them. So I don't know. So I do believe there is a need for it, and this should be talked about more and more. And I don't think many people are talking about it because by default we're living in a time where men are not allowed to be viewed as victims in some way, just because it's a way we've been was being ingrained in us for like the past decade. It's kind of like it's all about, I don't even know. You can pick a term, any other woke terms of some sort, and it will probably impact men as being the boogeymen in that scenario.
Do y'all think bringing back leadership and being a leader is a great, like, a necessary quality that a male needs to have?
What do you mean bring it back?
Yeah, I think it's always existed.
Because we talked about leadership earlier, about boss and worker. So bringing that title back, a leader, being a leader and a leader, you know, having leadership as a male is necessary.
Yeah, it's super necessary, super necessary.
How important would you say it is?
Say it again?
How important would you say it is?
Just having the title?
No, just
Learning how to be a leader.
To me, that's super important. Yeah, I would say so. But I'm like, how do you learn how to be a leader? How do you do that in society?
That's what I was gonna say. That it's more that I think that's what we're missing. It's more like the how tos.
I think putting yourself in those situations where you have to take lead, so you understand and learn how to. Instead of, as what he's saying, not being so social, like being more to yourself and not putting yourself out there to even gain those like characteristics to yourself and gain those experiences where you, next time if it does happen, you know what to do. You know how to be a leader.
The thing is that I think it's a little different because I think when it comes to between
And that's where you saying that a lot of guys are softer now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the places where you get to be hard are being softened day by day.
Like there's less and less locations
for you to do that, and I
disagree.
and I can be from any and it can. Okay, give me an example.
Well, okay, so asking you a question, what do you do in fashion?
I'm a photographer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a photographer.
But you by yourself, or you have other photographers with you that y'all all do it together?
No, I work with teams usually. Like, yeah.
Okay. And any of those did you have to lead?
Yeah, I do. But like, how did I build those skills? It's kind of like the question, because it's more of like a young man kind of scenarios. Like, what can young men do to develop those skills? And I think that's what's missing. And it's getting to the point that right now, I do believe young men are being put in a place where oftentimes they're told, don't share your opinion. Your opinion is not valuable. Sharing what you think is wrong.
Guys are having a lot of opinions now.
Sharing what you think is wrong. But think about it. Even in schools, like oftentimes, like there's places where a man will say, "Oh, you don't get to disagree with a woman just because she's a woman." You know what I mean? And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's like that's not a thing that will help you develop a skill. It's going to make you start being quiet and more reserved and stay to yourself. Because if the people who are in power, say teachers, in that scenario are telling you, you don't get to share your perspective or you don't get to share your opinion because it's not valid in this in this room. So what would you do as a young man? And if you're told that more and more, doesn't matter where you go, then you're gonna be like, all right, so I'm just not gonna share it. So I'm gonna stay in my head, stay more reserved, and get into the situation where we are now, where men are just like, okay, I'll keep it all inside, it all bubbles up, and then at one point I'll blow up.
Because I was reading recently, Tinder, 2-to-1 male to female.
Oh.
What?
No, it's startling statistic, yeah.
Right. But why is it startling? I mean, it sounds like a great idea. Oh, I can just order women like I do a pizza on my phone. I think I'll have the Kelly today. Except when you go on it, it weeds out the people who aren't the best looking, I think, because, it used to be go to a bar, okay, maybe it was potluck, but you have to be able to learn to talk to a woman. I don't think they had to talk to a woman anymore, because it's just on the phone. It's just like, what's up? And then, what's up? And
what I'm thinking is so mean and so
like that's going to work.
Sometimes. So
Sometimes.
you asked about the phone. Simply put, it's a disaster. Whenever technology comes into an industry, it consolidates it. Mating has been consolidated in the worst way. 50 men on Tinder, 50 women. 46 of the women show all of their attention to just 4 men, leaving 46 men pursuing just 4 women. If mating was a country, it would be more unequal than Venezuela. We have huge mating inequality. And here's the problem. When people don't get together and there's no pheromones and there's no vibe, women, and we don't like to say this on the left, primarily try and make very quick assumptions about this individual's ability to garner resources in the future. So what you have is this concentration of interest, and you're ending up with Porsche polygamy, where 10% of the men get 90% of the attention, which does not lead to good behavior or form long-term relationships. E-commerce was disastrous for retail. Social media was disastrous for everybody. Online dating is disastrous for mating and for men. It's terrible.
Yeah, that shit is terrible. Like you gotta, as a man, you gotta be outside talking to women. That shit don't work. Like at least for me, I'm fucking terrible. Like on
But do you understood those stats?
That it's 10% of dudes bagging 90% of women.
Yes, but the other side of it.
The 90-10 and the yeah.
That means that 9 out of 10 women are going for the same men.
So and then the other 46 men, the other men were left with that basically the one.
So look at it from this perspective. So out of 100 men, most women are chasing the top 10. So 90 women are going for 10, right?
So then it's like when basically it gives you about nine women to a man. So at that point, it kind of makes it hard for you to even like.
No, that's why we are in the dynamic that we live in right now, where there's a few men that have easy access to women in some way. And that can come either you're probably attractive, you're probably fit, you probably have money or something along those lines. There's something that catches your attention, but then it also creates a dynamic, and I don't think we speak about it too often. That means that women are dating all the same men. And then they're complaining that men are cheating and they're terrible. And
Which you mean females are dating the same men?
like they're pursuing the same men.
Oh yeah, 100%. Until
Yeah.
they learn their lesson. Then they're like, okay, I could tell a difference between a man and a boy and
No, but he's saying in percentage of like, if there was like 100 men and like how they were saying like 100 or what they use no, it was 50 men and 50 women. It's like 46 men to 4 trying to bag 4 women, and then so flip the other way, 46 women to 4 men or whatever.
No, but that I think she just mentioned it. So like and like this is an interesting dynamic, I think, is weird because it sounds like if I'm one of those 10% men, so one of the 10, like one of the 100 or 10 of the 100, those 10 are probably not going to take a relationship seriously because I have access to so many women.
Yeah.
But most women want one of those 10 men to take them seriously. So they're in 2 different bandwidths. And then the other 90 men that may get in a real relationship with you, you don't want to give them any attention because they don't have anything going on. So it creates this weird paradigm where we're just in this crazy cycle of pointing fingers of men are terrible, and then men are probably like, there's no good women to marry. You get what I'm saying or not?
Yeah, but for me, it just, cause I get you. I felt like that, but
which is true.
I'll just
And so
feel
we
like-
learn our lesson, we done. And then we learn our lesson. We know the
Yeah.
difference. We could tell the difference, and it's just like, oh shit, I was fucking up. Time to move on to like something real.
For me, I look at it as motivation. Like, I need to get my shit together. Like, I need to get my shit up so I'm trying to put myself in the 10. I'm trying to be, me and the other 9 dudes. I don't know about the other 90 motherfuckers. They gonna figure that shit out them. I'm trying to get myself in that 10%. That's how I see it. And then I just figured out from there what I'm gonna do, but get myself in that 10%.
That's what every guy should do.
Cause I feel like, man, ain't nobody really.
But
trying
y'all
to
just be
settle
maturing and well.
We all, cause we're all gonna settle to some degree, cause nobody's perfect. So we're gonna settle for something, in some department. You're gonna
No,
have
that's
to
sad.
settle.
You shouldn't settle.
But nobody's perfect. You're gonna have to settle in some department. Somebody's settling for you. Like, and they might settle like, oh, she like 5'3" or whatever. But fuck it, I'll settle.
Protect my love. Because
I'll settle.
I am not having someone that would
right.
ever say they settled for me,
Let's
and I
go-
would never
let's-
be with someone
let's-
that I settled for them.
I'm not saying that I would
God
say that to my partner, like, yo, because you're not gonna share that shit because they're not gonna understand that. But I understand the fact that some, like, the women that I've dated, they settled for me in a sense, like.
Don't say that.
I'm
You're
not
thinking
perfect.
low of yourself.
No, I think very high of myself. I just think that I'm not perfect. And then somewhere she might have wanted a motherfucker. I'm 6 foot. She might have wanted a 6'4".
Well, that's just
motherfucker.
at the time she didn't want that.
No, she settled
And like
for
you
me.
said, you're gonna work on yourself to get up to that level.
I'm never gonna grow. I'm not gonna be 6'4". I'm 26. That's it.
We're not talking about that.
I'm talking about that. So she settled for me and me having my height because of other things about me she might have really liked. She might have been like, all right, all these other things balance that one thing out. So
Wait, that she likes your height or don't like your height?
Yeah, if she don't like my height, right, and I'm never gonna be 6'4", but she really likes my personality.
Bro, you're really
she
fucking
really
tall.
Likes, I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? It's like everybody settles for somewhere. Everybody's gonna settle somewhere.
Height is different. You wanted to say something.
No, I think this is a funny conversation because I don't know why the word settle triggers so many people, but I'm like, you would never like.
It does.
Like in my mind, I'm like,
crazy. What does settle mean to you?
I didn't settle, but I know I have to compromise.
That's a difference.
Like, and I think that's the dynamic of any relationship if it's ever gonna work.
Different.
And now
that's not settling.
Now that's
knowing we got flaws and we got stuff to work on.
That's just semantics.
That's all he did.
That's just semantics. That's just semantics.
You're right though.
But
that word does trigger people.
But what I'm saying is,
that triggering stage.
I think most people right now have a hard time compromising and understanding that I'm never gonna find a perfect partner, because we are never the same human for a long period of time. And I'm talking from someone, I've been in a relationship now almost half of my life, the same person. And I can tell you when I first met her and now, we're definitely not the same person.
Well, yeah.
So that means that
Y'all shouldn't be.
That at many different stages, I could have said, oh, you're not who I met. But it's either that I make the choice to say, now I have to learn to love you in the way that you are now, and I hope that you can do the same for me.
I just don't like the word settling. Because
that's because you're getting stuck in that word.
Yeah.
But I also don't think nobody gonna walk up to you like, "Yeah, I settle for you." Like nobody. I don't think nobody's saying that either.
I don't like that word. I really don't.
Yo, you know why there's a word? Because I think most women have a list in their mind, and men typically don't have a list of things they're looking for in a woman. And you kind of hinted at that earlier when you said,
why y'all settle and just marry anything.
Because for the most part, men, like you mentioned, I want somebody who I find attractive. Like that's probably the first requisite, and then after everything else that comes after that, it's just a plus. You get what I mean?
Say that again. Sorry.
Anything else that comes after that, like, oh, I'm attractive to you.
What was before?
Just being attractive. Like that's what catches a man's attention. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I hadn't been attracted to my wife, and I'm not attracted to my wife right now, like if I wasn't, like that would be an issue. Like I would say that out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, when it comes to women, I think it's a little different because
I don't like it. But
you don't necessarily go based of attraction, and maybe plays a role. But I guarantee that you probably have a list, whether you have it written down in your mind of like this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. And I think it comes from either experiences you've had in the past. You start building a man out of Legos, and like you probably are in a situation where like, yo, I love the way this person made me feel when they did X, Y, Z. So I'm looking for someone who has this. And now you had a different person that provided a different thing that you liked, but was missing something else. So from let's say you've dated 4 or 5 people. Between the 5, you're like, yo, I want these 5 characteristics and put them all together. And now you're building a man that doesn't exist.
Everybody want to build a bear.
How much time do we got here? Because you about to make me go to my rabbit hole with that one.
Sure, started.
Okay. So, yes, we do have a list. Yes, very so we do have a list. Because let me ask you a question. Do y'all need or want a girl to be submissive? To be all about you, like, and literally show you that in every kind of way that is your love language and that you want in a relationship or as in a partner?
Do I want that? Yeah.
Nah. I don't think that's realistic in 2023.
Well, she asked me what I wanted. She didn't ask me about realism. You asked me what I want. That's what I want. Now, do I think I'm gonna get that? No, but I gotta compromise.
Not in a
some
sense
shit.
in everything. Oh yeah, you do have to compromise. In a sense where, no, I don't know you that well to ask you like very personal questions.
He could just say
I'm only saying. No, I'm only saying that because yes, we do have that list because in order to be that, where a lot of girls know they're not submissive, but to even be like a great partner, in a sense, I feel like females do have to be submissive in some type of way because, you know, you want to please your partner and whatnot and whatever their love language is. But we have that list because in order to be that, we need to like trust you and trust that you are a good person in order to be that.
But then you're not that. That means you're playing a character if you
I'm
say
not
that.
playing a character.
So-
Why? Because just based off my looks and we already like get it going as in having interest.
No, and remember my
and
answer
whatever
was
the case may be that I should like already.
so here like
tirarme.
this is what I heard. And remember the answer I gave you, which is not what you probably expected.
Okay.
But what I just heard you said, I first need to test you to see if you deserve for me to be that. So you're saying while he's meeting you and getting to know you, you're not presenting to be someone submissive because he hasn't earned it. So you're setting like a what would you call it? Like you're not presenting that from the get-go. So how will
I
he?
shouldn't be. Who are you? I don't know you. To be
So-
that already from the gate.
Then that means
I'm
you're
getting
not
to know
submissive.
you. I am, but I don't know you. So I'm gonna throw myself to every guy that I'm like interested in. getting to know.
No, I don't think
I'm
being
not gonna be
submissive
that-
means you're throwing yourself at someone.
Throw myself to like go the mile to do things for you because I love you and I care for you.
I don't think that's what submissive means, but okay.
We can look at it.
Like throwing yourself to do things for me.
Not throwing
think
myself at you, but throwing myself at you in a sense where I'm very involved in your life, where I'm doing stuff because I care for you.
Yeah, I think I get what you're trying to say. Like, I feel like y'all gotta like really trust that man.
So I need that list in order to whatever list it may be. Yes, because of the past, because what I've went through in the past, and also because of that list or that percentage that we were talking about. That these are the boys or the young men that we were dealing with for a hot minute until we learned our lesson. So it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make that list because I'm not gonna make those mistakes again. Where I'm gonna allow you to like just have my trust so easily, where I'm doing, I'm going up and down for you, above for you, and you have other intentions because you might be attracted to me because
So
you
you're
said that was
saying-
the first thing that we need to have. You need to be attracted to
Correct.
us.
And and I'm not
So your intentions are probably totally different than my intentions.
possibly.
So
I
I'm
don't
not gonna-
disagree. I'm not disagreeing with that. But then you're telling me that because you're getting older, the price of admission
I'm
is
just not
going
gonna
up.
waste my time.
That's what I'm saying. The price of admission to you is going up. So it's more difficult for someone to get to you.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you say that to a man, what do you think is their answer? Just put yourself in their shoes.
What would I say to a man?
Like, put yourself in a man's shoes for a second. What do you think they're going to think?
It depends what kind of guy he is. If he's looking for the same attentions, he's going to be on the same page as me, and he's going to have his list as well because he's serious about this. If it's a guy that's probably obviously has different intentions and he's just trying to be out here dating, is nothing serious, he's not going to have that list. He's not going to hear about that. So his response is totally going to be different. He's probably going to be scared. He's like, okay, from the get-go, I know I don't want to go further with her. He's going to have, I'm going to keep trying and just get this out of her, or probably just cut me off because he's not on the same page as me.
Maybe. I don't know.
What were you gonna say?
No, because it sounds like you're so like if I was in the shoes of a guy, right? It's like, oh, so you're telling me anybody who came before me got access to you for 50 cents. Now you're telling me no, you got to pay $2.50.
Wait, say it again.
Like I'm literally putting a pricing just for a comparison.
Yeah.
Let's say if you were and I don't mean to do this literally, like you were a product, right?
It's okay. I'm gonna follow your.
Like I'm not trying to say that this way. Just believe you're an iPhone.
Yes.
And it's like you're saying, I'm this phone, and in the past, I've sold myself for, and we're not literally selling, I'm just trying to make an analogy here, for $100. $100 was the price to get access to this. But because now I'm an iPhone, I don't know what iPhone we're on, even though I'm an iPhone 11, so it's not a brand new one, because I'm an older,
I got an update.
A more mature iPhone.
Yes.
Even though the hardware
You got
itself is
crazy
still
updates
older,
now.
I'm going to start charging you $300 for the same
100%.
phone that is now older.
That's updated.
That makes absolutely no
That's
sense.
updated.
Makes
What you-
absolutely no sense.
What? Yes, it does. You just got a whole upgrade. A whole upgrade. I done learned shit. I done been through shit and learned shit. You got a whole upgrade.
But you're not brand new out the box no more, though. Hold on.
Ew, what does that even mean?
Just,
Ew, I already know.
Because I get what you're trying to say. You gotta like, been through 101 things. I don't know. I just think it's just different. Like to me, what I took it was, it's just you gotta have that level of like trust and respect for the man for you to be able to let yourself loose enough to like really become submissive with a guy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I thought you was trying to say. That's how I understood what you were trying to say.
Yeah. I need to know who you are, if I trust you, to even be open.
That sounds so weird
for you
to me.
To even know my new update.
All right, so let's say
I could be the new iPhone right now, and you can't even afford it.
I think it'll be different. Like to me, this sounds like, imagine if I was a guy, and I don't know, you're attracted to masculine guys, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you meet a guy and he presents very, very feminine.
Mm-hmm. Very, very?
Yeah, very, very. But then he tells you, once I get to know you and I trust you, I'll show you the masculine side of me.
That's not even no. That's not a good example.
That's a great example.
That is not a good example.
What's the difference? Because the only way that I feel like that's a
How
great
can
example.
you be super feminine from the start? Like,
All I'm making you say,
I'm already think that ya tú eres,
I feel like that's a great example just because you're never gonna feel that level of comfort with him if you never see that masculine side and you don't never build that respect for him and all those things. If you don't ever see that shit, you're never gonna build that to let yourself become submissive. So I feel like that was a great example.
so you see how crazy that sounded?
No, I don't.
So like me saying, you met a feminine guy, he tells you, I'll show you my masculine side.
My intentions from the gate is already different. I'm gonna think you're.
But I understand. But you see, it sounded very, very. It sounds odd. It doesn't sound normal.
No.
Like it sounds. The thing is that right now you're saying no because you know I'm gonna say that's what you sound like to a man.
It sounds crazy for a girl to have a list.
No, not that part. I'm talking about the submissive.
But that's the upgrade we're talking about.
I'm talking about the submissive piece where you're saying, oh, I'm not going to be submissive from the get-go. If you choose to be that, I'm like, I think that would just come out of you naturally. That's just who you are.
Oh, it has. Again, so it has naturally in the beginning multiple times. And I've learned I want to hold that back because clearly I'm just doing it just for anybody. And I don't want to do it just for anybody.
So now what you're saying is I was willing to give that to someone that was not, you said I was willing to give that to someone who was not deserving, but now I'm not going to present that to someone that may be deserving of that and limit the possibilities of us being together because he will never see that part of me. And maybe he discard the possibility of you guys being
my
together.
future husband and my partner, my life partner, he needs to understand that he's going to be patient. And that's how he's going to show me. That's it.
Because you're not brand new.
What does that even mean?
That's what he said.
No.
Oh, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Another episode. I appreciate you for pulling up on me. I had a great time. We talked a little bit of everything. Man, we got to do this again.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Nice little debate vibes. I enjoyed this.
It was a good debate. It was a lot of back and forth.
Good vibes.
It was really good.
And do this a little earlier and shit.
Yeah. A day off, please. Please.
Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, share. We appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode. I am Audi.
I am Jotty.
Road behind the lens. You know what I'm saying? Another episode. Thank you.
Bye.